Hey everybody, this is John, and welcome to the free video. And we've got earnings coming up. Let's look at a couple of earnings that are in the hopper. So we do have Amazon this week, Thursday after the close, and you can see today it was down $16, just over 1%. So we do have a little bit of what I would call violent action going into earnings. And let's take a look here at where we can end up. And we are looking at setting up some low-risk plays going into earnings here. One of the ones that I've been watching here, and if we go over here and we look at volume and open interest, and we can kind of we can look at the expected move here, which is $40. So if you take a look at this, we're currently trading at $9.66. $40 move would take us up to about $1,000, and there's a lot of activity up here at $1,000 strike. And what's nice about this $1,000 strike is that if you would go and do a iron condor at this level, since it's this far out of the money, and let's try this one $10 wide, and you can see here that we are risking $930 to make $9,000. So there are some opportunities coming up like that look, yes, it's true, the trade may not work, but it's within the realm of the expected move, and the risk reward is fantastic on the stock. And then you can see for next week we've got one coming up in Tesla. All right, and if we come down here and we look at it's pricing in about a $25 move, and we come over here to the current price, you can see it dropped $8 today, so around $340. And if we look here at the two strikes, to the upside, you can see there's a little bit of activity, but not much. And then if we look at the downside, there's actually a lot more activity. So we kind of have the same situation where, we don't know if Tesla is going to collapse after earnings. The stock has surprised before, but the question is there a way to set up a trade that would benefit from it without risking very much? And again, here's a trade where if this trade doesn't work out, we lose $400.10 or $410. But if it makes money, we win $9,500. So there's a lot of interesting trades like that have popped up and are continuing to pop up. So for those of you that missed the class this Saturday, let me show you a couple of highlights that were a couple of aha moments that came up that a lot of people were very excited about. So one of them was the idea that I just had talked about, where there's a trade coming up in Amazon, and then there's a trade coming up in Tesla, where you can risk about $600 to potentially make $9,000. Okay, and those trades are nice. You do them the day of earnings. If it doesn't work, not a big deal. And that's on 10 contracts, by the way. You could do a one contract trade where you're risking $60, to make $900. All right, so the risk reward is great. So that's one strategy that we talked about. A couple of other strategies that we talked about during the Saturday class. One was on Microsoft, where it's actually worked 12 out of 12 times for the last 12 earnings. Okay, one on NVIDIA that worked 11 out of the last 12 times. And the list goes on and on there. And then we're able to look at some ideas where we could scan for different strategies, okay, and find out which stocks that they worked the best on. Also a strategy where if a stock like Facebook, okay, which the expected earnings on Facebook's $1.29, and there's a rule of thumb here that if we get, based on what we talked about on Saturday, if they beat and hit about $1.35 and open up at the expected move, they're going to collapse. All right, and CNBC gets all excited about this, but it has to beat a certain number for it to rally. So that's something that we look out, and it's a specific fake out, and it's a great way to kind of just take cash out of the market and take the opposite side of those sucker bets that the market is setting everyone up for. Okay, so those are things that we talked about on Saturday. It was a lot of fun. If you weren't able to participate, that's fine. You can still get the class and view the recording, $497. We are going to start the live trading this week, starting on the 25th, and then we'll be going on the 31st, 1st, 7th, and 9th. And if you're interested in still taking advantage of that, it's $9.97. That includes the Saturday class, and it includes an earnings analysis tool. All right, it's a fun class, great stuff coming up, and game changers in terms of being able to look at earnings and be able to extract cash from the markets. All right, you guys have a good one, and we'll see you at the next update.